Today we are going to learn the distance formula. There are two ways to do the distance formula. I'm going to start with the basic one, and then I'll show you my favorite shortcut with it, but I would recommend learning the formula rule as well. So you have 2 points, and we call them x1, y1, and x2, y2. Now these numbers, if they're up top, they were an exponent. Down at the bottom, it just means it's like a last name. Hey, if you have 2 Joes in the class, this is Joe, this is a different Joe. Okay, it's just a last name. It doesn't mean anything mathematically. So if we have the 2 points, let's say we have the point 1, 2, and we have the point 7, 10. Then I would go through and I would say one of these is x1, x1, y1, x2, y2. Doesn't matter, I can pick and choose which one's 1 and which one's 2. So the formula says distance equals the square root of my x's, x2 minus x1 squared, plus my y's, y2 minus y1 squared. So I'm going to pick this as the 2. So I'm going to say x2 is 7 minus x1 is 1. 7 minus 1 is 6, and 6 squared is 36. Then I do my y's. Y is 10 minus 2. 10 minus 2 is 8, so 8, and 8 times 8 is 64. The square root of 36 plus 64, 36 plus 64 is 100, and the square root of 100 is 10. That is the distance between the point 1, 2 and the 7, 10, or the length of that line, using the distance formula. Let's do another one. Let's say we have the point 1, 3, and we have the point 6, 15. First, I write down the distance formula. D equals x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So then I would say 15, oh that's x, excuse me, 6 minus 1 squared plus 15 minus 3 squared. 6 minus 1 is 5. 5 squared is 25. 15 minus 3 is 12. 12 squared is 144. 25 plus 144 is 169. So the square root of 169 is 13. And that is how you use the distance formula. You just write the formula down, plug the numbers in, it will work. Okay, now I want to show you a more visual method of doing the same 2 problems I just did. If you happen to have a graph, you can start and say, hey, look, we want to know the distance between these 2 points and the length of this line. I could draw a right triangle. When I draw the right triangle, I count. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now, good old Pythagorean theorem applies. Now, if we jump back to that problem, hey, look, there's my 6, that's 7 minus 1. And there's my 8, that 10 minus 2 from the formula. So then I can just do 6 squared plus 8 squared using Pythagorean theorem. So as a visual method, I can draw, this is 5, this is 12, looking at the problem we just did. There's the 5, there's the 12. And that is another method of doing it, is drawing the triangle. One quick thing I want to just make a note of for you is a quick reminder on triangles. Scalene has no sides the same length. Isosceles has 2 sides the same. And equilateral has all sides the same, just as a quick note, because there's some problems on this assignment that ask you to classify if it's scalene or whatever. So be aware of that. And good luck. That's the distance formula.